Doctor was always the smartest guy in every room, but they did not realize that he was broke.
Did you do this?
Answer me, Victor! Did you do this?
Hello guys, I'm Shop came back once again. You saw a couple of days ago, how long ago was it? About 2 days ago, the Dooms. Now this is, remember I said there was a leaked trailer I didn't know was real. Apparently, it was real. Disney at D23 said we're gonna drop it, and here it is, we got it. And I heard some things. I've already seen it. I already know what's going down. I'm still gonna break it down to a certain degree. But it's just, I've heard the reports. I'm not the only one thinking there's going to be 2 Doctor Dooms in this movie. And in my opinion, it's the only way to explain the anger and the fury and the ruthless raw rage he has when he says, all of you have stolen lives. It's about time for you to give them back. To give it all back. And the way Sue Storm described Victor, that he used to be this loving, caring person, in which Doctor Doom, even though he's a villain, he is a complex character. He's more simple than what some think he is. He is more complicated than what some people think he is. But, and some people say, well, it should be his mother. The mother plot that doesn't work in this case. You have to do too much setup, in my opinion, to bring in Doctor Doom's mother. Way too much setup. Literally, way too much setup. It's a lot easier to go the family route, and they ruined his universe. Then, well, it's Doctor Doom and his mother. It's that same thing I keep talking about. They want to pick and choose comic book accuracy. One moment you bring it up, it don't matter. It don't matter. But then now, to some people it matters. But I'm gonna leave it alone, man. Leave it alone. But to me, it's the only way to make sense. Especially the way he look at that photos and the way he's sitting around and his covenant of wishes and that one warlock. It's just, it can't just be from the Fantastic Four 828 universe. He has too much. I'm supposed to believe what? Let's just say Rogers came there in the 40s. For 20 years, he's just the multiverse expert and all this other stuff, things that he was not introduced to. I don't see it. But having 2 Doctor Dooms, and having a Doctor Doom who, because of Steve Rogers' actions, destroyed everything in this world. That would make sense. It was explaining the ending of First Steps of how, well, Sue wasn't panicked to see Victor Von Doom. This Doom is, we're cool and it's great. We already have it confirmed that Doctor Doom has 2 costumes in this movie. Why? Thanos only had 1 throughout the entirety of the movie, and then he went back to his old one in Endgame. But he has 2? Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. All I'm saying is it's not confirmed. It could work either way, but I really would prefer that there be 2 Doctor Dooms. Because it would explain the anger he has towards it. Remember, he's not mad at one person. He's mad at several people. Several. And if Steve Rogers moved to the 828 universe, the First Steps universe, how could it affect Doctor Doom, but then it affect nobody else? Unless you want to say there was some type of multiverse shenanigans and it blew up and it scarred him. And that would just be... that would just be whatever. Would it be awful? No, but I really would like, because of the action of Steve Rogers, Strange, Deadpool, when he shot the other Deadpool in the head, and did several, like, people don't even, that's the thing, after 40 years of having time travel as a concept in modern society, people do not understand it. And it's the most strange thing in the world. You just can't do something and just put it back. Because remember, Loki, from that past Avengers timeline, he never went back. So that stuff was answered and given some questions in his own TV show, but he was supposed to go back just like the Infinity Stones. You were supposed to die. You just can't just bring people. The same thing with the people keep saying, if the Tobey Maguire leaks are canon, right? If he does fight the X-Men, if Otto Octavius is not dead, he destroyed his own universe. Tom Holland destroyed Tobey Maguire's universe because those people are supposed to die. Because the only reason Harry gets killed is because Green Goblin dies. So if he doesn't die, but then Harry's still dead, you don't butcher this whole universe like that Doctor Strange did in Multiverse of Madness. Once again, but it's great. It's great if you don't have a brain. Jeez, that's why I never liked No Way Home. But it doesn't matter. But everything in this penultimate movie, if it is a hard reboot, soft reboot, everybody will have to pay for their actions via Doom. Victor was never the most morally right guy in the room. He was just one who made the hard decisions. Universally. That's the only thing. Reed Richards would lose his mind thinking over complex math equations. Doom was just like, hit the button. Hit it. Hit it. But it can kill. It don't matter who it kill. Hit the button. We'll feel bad about it afterwards. We'll feel bad about it afterwards. Oh my gosh. And that's been a part of who Victor's always been. And we do get it like a quick shot of one of the witches where he's standing in front of the that place where you saw the other elite warlocks and stuff like that. But with Doom in his throne room and his behavior and the way he's acting, there has to be a greater initiative here than just, well guys, he can't, like, it doesn't make any sense if he's purely from the 828. But if he's carrying hatred because of what Steve Rogers did, destroyed his universe. Same thing how they took them pin particles, never put it back in Endgame. Every action have a butterfly effect. Every action have a reaction. We don't know how many universes they destroyed. Because of Endgame. Because they couldn't accept loss. Because it only... It is like the whole concept of using the stone and destroying them is stupid. It's dumb. It really is. But that's a whole different subject. There's a consequence to every action. Every one of them. Deadpool has been allowed to run rampant, no consequences. Loki has been allowed to run rampant. Meet multiple multiverses, no consequences. Doctor Strange. Them using the quantum realm to go back, like all of this gotta have some type of consequence. All of it. And in Endgame, where it was just, well, it should just happen because the hero, nah, there's a price to pay. And they probably destroyed this whole guy's world. And he's using the other Doom unknowingly as a proxy, like a life model decoy, like an artificial being. And he's playing two different sides at the same time. This is why he has an army of sentinels. I doubt he's just, well guys, I just saw this blueprint and it just, well, they just showed up. But if he's already been traveling other universes, and he's already been seeing the larger scheme of the incursions, and how he's going to use that to make his own better, perfect world, because when he left the world in somebody else's hands, look what they did with it. They took everything from him. Took everything. And now he's going to return the exact same consideration and care back to them. Gotta be. And that's the thing, Victor is not some hero. Doctor Doom is not some good guy. But you can't say he's wrong. If this is the truth, you can't say he don't have a point. You can't say, well, should have just left stuff alone. Because we know early in the movie there's supposed to be some fight between the X-Men and the Avengers. You know, potentially that there's 3 different planets. The Fantastic Four. I believe the Days of Future Past X-Men. Hopefully. In the main Avengers universe. Those 3 are supposed to be colliding together into one incursion. The only problem is, incursions have never worked that way. Historically, it's never worked that way. So what could be causing this? Now, we don't know how much power Dr. Doom has. We know that he's stronger than Stormbreaker, the same Stormbreaker that was able to overload Thanos' gauntlet, because Thanos was an idiot using it wrong. Is what it is. But, if he has that much power to overwhelm him, he just can't be he just got off the couch and get that power. That's not how this happens. He had to be planning this and been paying attention for quite some time. For quite some time, watching all the machinations and the calculations. He respects Richards. He just don't like him. And he's been able to watch on the sidelines the Kings, the Loki shenanigans. Because somebody said, well, how would he get his power? How would this start? This would start all the way in Endgame. Everything post Endgame just made things worse. It was the reason why he have it out to for Steve Rogers started with him. He destroyed his world, but everybody else made it worse. On top of that, it starts with him, and it's just been going bad and worse and worse, and timelines, shenanigans, multiverse. There's some things you shouldn't just do, like Doctor Strange and Peter nearly ended the whole planet over a stupid spell. The Celestials actually showed up. You gonna get away with that? Nah, that's not how that works. Nah. So I believe the Doctor Doom that Storm is talking about is dead, to a certain degree. That Victor she claimed was, well, he switched up and he was loving and he was caring. No. That Victor died a long time ago. Rather knowingly or unknowingly, he's been on a ticking time clock ever since Multiverse Doom has been around. And that Doom just been watching, paying attention. This is why taking out the Kangs as an element and trapping them like how they trapped Kang the Conqueror is such a great idea in my opinion. Because it gives the option to bring back Kang later as a new actor, but also allow Doom to have his place and have like this guy here. He's ahead of the curve. He's a few steps ahead. He's thinking. He's plotting. He's planning. In the way, you can't beat a man who made the rules of the game. You can't beat him. Which is why when Reed is like, Victor, did you do this? Victor, did you do this? Victor! And like, Doom is just looking at him. He's just... Does it work if this Doctor Doom never met this Victor? And this is like a different Victor? I'll say yes. Because if the Victor had the same backstory, but the only thing that was changed is that his world is destroyed, so he would know Reed Richards. He would know him. And it would be quite ironic if Mr. Smartest guy in the room was like, oh, you know, Victor showed up. Well, you know, Reed, like, something's going wrong here. Oh, don't worry about it. It's probably nothing. Next thing you know, the whole world ended. That probably nothing. It'd be the same thing that happened in Marvel Comics where Reed Richards tried to correct Doctor Doom and it blew up and caused his face a scar because of his own ego. What if it happened in reverse for Doctor Doom? What if Reed said, hey, maybe probably not a big ordeal and it ended the whole world? So in a way, that hatred, and especially like building up with these next, whether it's 2 movies or 3 movies, whatever they do with Secret Wars, it's just, we've got to see how Doomsday perform first. However they do it, it can really enrich, even though we might have these 2 actors on for a long time, it can really build up the hatred and despisal of Reed and Doom. Especially when we get the full Doom's backstory, and it's just like, wow. I would never thought that any version of Victor would have been able to do this much damage and this much harm and this much death to random people. So now this guy who have a similar backstory to my Victor is destroying the whole world. Wow, this can't be real. This can't be happening. I really don't see how they could win. If we see this one shot of a place destroyed, I think it's the X-Men universe. I don't think it's Tobey Maguire's timeline. I think that thing is out of it. And people have been bringing up the Void. I can see why they would bring up the Void, but it won't make any sense if you just move everything towards the Void. Because the Void is not an actual place. It's like a place in between places. If Doom's gonna create his own battle world, it gotta be a world. Now if you use that world as a skeleton, and then takes the Void and take pieces from that and fuse all the 4 of them to his own mishmash of multiverses and every Marvel movie up to Blade to now, they can get a cameo, a spot moment, a highlight. That would be great. That would be a fantastical idea. I would support that version of Battle World, going over the entire cinematic, even the cancer stuff from like the cancer Captain America movie, Fantastic Four. That can work. That can work in my opinion. But it depends which way they want to go. It really does. And like I said before, it really would supplant and implant the hate. To a certain degree, they do hate each other. Doctor Doom really don't like Reed Richards. Like, period. His whole philosophy, the way he thinks, the way he acts, the way he behaves, he actually genuinely hate Reed Richards. He does not like this dude at all. Like, he really don't like him. He showed mercy to Sue, Johnny, well, no, not Johnny. Johnny, he don't feel so bad about the thing, but he does not like Reed and Johnny. That's the thing. When I say Doom is a complex character, here's a quick story. Doctor Doom invited the Fantastic Four to Latveria for his wedding. Now you would expect, well, this had to be in no, this is like 2000s. So they already had like 40 to 50 years of history. And he, like I said, he's a complex character. So you thought, he would extend his hands. We may not like each other, but I like to bring you guys here and have this great celebration in Latveria. You know what Johnny Storm does? He sleeps with the bride-to-be the day before. And it gets exposed the day of. Hey, look. Johnny Storm is not some bad guy. But Doom reached his hand out to you, and this is how you repay him. Hey, look, man. Certain superheroes with Doom gets a pass. Others, like Reed, nah. Reed and the entirety of the Fantastic Four. We get these shots of people looking at holding their loved ones. Seem like my needle gonna go out. Got Steve, got and there's another big component. Love as a character with Thor is very strange. Cause if that is Eternity, Grit and Gore the God Butcher, a character they butchered, just how do you take a character who was so seemingly right in the comic books, but then showed his blatant hypocrisy and lies and what he was willing to go to and how much he supposedly quote unquote cared about his family that he lost, and you take that and just turn it into just it is what it is. But if she is reality, doesn't reality have a post to be at? Well, eternity? Doesn't eternity has a post to be at? How long as Doom's not going around snatching children, would it make sense to be used as batteries? Yes, but it wouldn't be in a way where, human trafficking. It would just, the children believe it's a nice, happy playtime. It's just help Doom. I don't see him as like some child snatcher from GTA that doesn't fit his character. That's not Doom. And we have this excellent shot of Thor saying, "You will beg for hell long before I give it to you," and he launches at Doom and Doom blocks it. And I'm supposed to believe this supposed to be just some random Doctor Doom going against one of the strongest versions of Thor after 4 movies, Avengers and Endgame and Stormbreaker, and there's a period of time he has Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, and I'm supposed to believe, well, this is just some Doom off the couch from a stop it. There's no way this is a Doom off the couch. It can't be. Look how effortlessly he's dealing with Thor. Like he's a clown. Look how he throws Stormbreaker. Like he's a clown. Like he's nothing. And it seemed like the final battle could be happening in the X-Men universe. But outside of that, I don't got much else to add. But they keep showing off Steve Rogers. And I think Steve gonna die in this movie. It is what it is. There's no way he doesn't die in this movie. It's just like they keep showing off Steve Rogers again in every trailer we've seen this guy, and we haven't really seen him do anything. We haven't seen him in no fights. We haven't seen him do nothing. I'm just suspicious. All I'm saying. Go on to the witches and warlocks. They're saying that Doom witches from Latveria, or the witches of Doom. Screw it. That's what technically it would be called the sorcerers of Doom, because there's one dude in there and there's like 3 girls. Is what it is. They're saying that there's the woman Doctor Strange left off with in 3, Multiverse of Madness. Potentially Wanda and another one. All those possibilities more than likely, and it's more than likely that Doctor Strange is there. My only problem with the Doctor Strange thing is how they're going to explain it. We've already seen Doctor Strange make like a huge play before. So, instead of having it be our Doctor Strange, just contain Strange, and then wipe his memory. And then take that Doctor Strange was fighting in Multiverse of Madness and use him as a guy to work for you. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You rob an advantage for the Avengers, and then on top of that, you gain an excellent ally to yourself. I don't recall that Doom with the Darkhold from Multiverse of Madness. I don't think he was dead, was he? I don't believe he was. And if he's not, hey, you don't got nothing to do. If Doom went around picking up Sentinels, picking up small pieces and fragments from everybody else world that they just left behind, the death and the carnage, There's always a price to pay. Always. So that's why it would be ironic to force Reed Richards, a hero, into a difficult choice, into working with a madman murderer. This is not a try every option. This is a selfish decision by Reed. Everybody in this whole movie is filled with selfish decisions, and Doom is the only one making a selfless decision. In his opinion, that sure is feared by his family, but he's right. And we have no reports that he's trying to bring his family back. So, and I figured I had more things to talk about, to be honest. I kind of just went over some of the old stuff I already did. With the new footage, everybody's gonna show up in the Baxter building. I don't see why, unless Doctor Doom shows up and obliterates the X-Men universe, and now it's only down to the Fantastic Four and this 616, which is the stupidest thing they've ever done with the MCU. Why call that the 616? Well, you could have called it another universe. Then, if there's ever a comic book crossover, you can bring them. Like this, this that dumb stuff, man. But of course, leave it alone, man. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. But I mean, like I said before, this is a way better trailer. It gives us a way better insight into Doom. It gives us a way better insight between the relationship between him and Reed, and what his bigger plans could be. Because it seems like a lot of the fighting between the heroes and the X-Men are only happening because people lack information. And if it is true that the X-Men, in their own defense, decide to make with Beast a selfish decision to blow up other worlds like Tobey Maguire's to save their own, if that's true, it will make sense if that world was on collide with the 616, that the X-Men would try to strike first blood. Maybe Reed Richards and team came over here to talk, and instead of the X-Men talking, they think it's going to be like Tobey Maguire, or you guys got to die. But sadly, nobody sees the bigger picture until it's too late. Everybody's looking for answers. Everybody's looking for solutions. Everybody got their hands busy, besides from looking at one singular thing. What could have caused the incursions to happen? Period. And without that answer, you can never see the bigger picture with Doom. And that's how Victor operates for the most part. He's never a player that you're focusing on until it's kind of already too late, and you're put into a position where you can't do anything against him. He doesn't really... How do I explain this before I wrap this up? Doom is, as a character... Because like people throw around the term the smartest man in the room. And I already told the weaknesses of Doom. But Doom, the way he plays cards, I pretty much stayed consistent. Sometimes he go to offensive, other times not. When he attacks, he's more than likely going to win. When he's on the defensive, you can catch him slipping. Like, he's not invulnerable, all right? Just because a man is smart doesn't make him like a god or something. But he's always a guy who can rather take what he needs to, or play his cards in the right way where he come out on the top in the end. He may not always win, and there have been some times when he just looked outright stupid. But he put himself in the position, in the best possible position, to get the maximum outcome out of anything. Even in his losses, he learned something. Like one of my favorite moments, Iron Man pulled up on Doom, saying, "You're going to jail for your crimes against mankind." And Doom's like, "I don't recognize your authority." Tony Stark's like, "You will after I'm done with you." That's that comic Tony. "You will after I'm done with you." They get into this whole squabble, and he pulls out magic. Because Doom's suit was running out of power, and he's just like, "I've learned so much from my last battle." That's Doom. That's him. That's the Doctor Doom I want to see. I don't want to see some generic, well, God tier character. I want to see Doctor Doom for who he is. Not just a washed out derivative that will be mass appeal for mass audience. The thing is, the lie they tell you is, the audience will accept anything. They accept RoboCop, Terminator, many movies with fantastical or magical or scientific outcomes. It's not about what you show. It's just how you show it. Come on, we had a whole... Hell, look, man. Like I always say, got anything to take away from this, you know. Do what you want as creative. And if it makes money, it makes money. It is what it is. But yeah, that's been my episode. That's been my thoughts and opinions on the recent Doom footage. I saw a lot of all this. but it's just like some interesting components and interesting thoughts, and it really is proving that the leaks are true. But I hope they're not true to the point where actually this is just the 6-2, no, not the 828 Doom. That's what could Steve cause to lose everything to him, and why did that cause affect anybody else? That's the biggest question. You can't say it's because of Steve Rogers with Doom, but it affected Doom and nobody else when he was playing around with the multiverse and it just blew up in front of his wife and kids. What does that mean? But if it destroyed his world and he came to another one to gain power, strength, and he's using the 628, which would explain, because like there's no way. The way Reed Richards is talking about Doctor Doom, maybe this Doom lost his mother. The Doom we're gonna face lost a lot more. So what they took as, well, he's just being, he's sticking to himself because he lost his mother and he's going through a tough time. What if that wasn't the case? What if they was getting played and the Doctor Doom they knew has been dead for quite some time, and for years they didn't even know about it? So when they have that shot of him not showing up to the Future Foundation, if this is comic Doom, that would make sense. But if this is a Doom that was on friendly terms, why wouldn't he show up? Just to hear what she got to say. Remember, he may not be a fan of Reed, but he does respect, like, the work they put in. They just don't believe they're on the same level. So, it only makes sense to me that there are two Doctor Dooms. And that's why we can have this fake out. Oh, you already know he's going to turn bad. What if he never turns bad? What if the only opportunity, the only person that could possibly understand how Doom thinks is killed, and they couldn't do anything to stop it? And the guy just goes on a rampage and gets worse and worse and worse, and it's just like they can't stop this guy. They can't. So what if Reed makes the sacrifice play? Whether it's to release the Kings or whatever it is, he's going to destroy it all. At least in its destruction, maybe something good may come out of it. And that puts Reed into a protagonist type position for the next movie, because it's just, how do you fix something that you ended with your own two hands? And at the most crucial moment, everybody believing in you, supporting everything you've done, how would they look back on your supposedly glorious decision to save the world? That you gave it over to them. Because it's better to let them fight it out instead of letting Doom have it. But Doom still wins in the end. Even the sacrifice play, unlike in Endgame, it didn't work. It'd be interesting to plot, but it'd be interesting to game, like, comment, subscribe. And what are your thoughts and opinions about the special look? I just hope I was able to get my ideas or points across with the whole stuff. And it just, I don't know. Like, sometimes I don't know how these videos be turning out until I'm done with them. But it's been up to a case. So, one quick side note. Come in last minute. I think I figured it out. I've cracked the case of why there's two Dooms in this movie. I figured out everything that's gonna be happening. The Laverian witches, Boris, and everything else. This is just the Kang Dynasty. That's all it is. In the Kang Dynasty, I haven't read the leaks. More than likely, there was going to be a good Kang that they end up getting killed by the other Kangs. Cause the one that one that Loki found, like, one of those was going to be good. If you look at it that perspective, it explains why there are going to be two Dooms. It explains why there's such a large group, and it's not just Doom by himself. What is the purpose of these witches? Then, like, if you got these witches, sentinels, and everything else, like, why is this vast army necessary? Because they had to replace Kang. Everything you see in this movie with the Fantastic Four and did you do this and all these other things, sure, they had to rewrite the script, revise it for Doom. But all of this is just Kang Dynasty stuff, just reworked around Doom. All of it. Which is why people have different costumes. This is why they had to make the Laverian witches. And Boris, who would they be? The other high council members that would have been played by Jonathan Majors. Why wear the mask? Those are the guys to do the VFX of Jonathan Majors' face. They would all have to be wearing Now, should have never started filming on the movie, but that basic premise comes out to why we have all these sentinels. Why is Doom coming in with all these groups of people? Why there might be two different Dooms? Why have two different costumes? Why Why do all these things in the incursions? This is supposed to be a Kang plot. All of it. But they just had to rework it around Doom and Secret Wars to reboot the universe, to let go of the previous baggage to start off new once again. It's not completely refreshed, but just like Heroes Reborn or any other Marvel reboot or all new different Marvel, it's a reboot without being a strong reboot. The canon still exists. We're just dropping the previous baggage that some people did. Like, this is just a Kane Dynasty storyline. I figured it out. I was looking for images and it's like the way I do like a lot of research for images and try to get videos. I'm running out of storage space, but I was thinking, I was pondering, just like I was looking at the image, the two Doom costumes, and it just clicked. This is a Kang Dynasty plot, just reworked into Doom. That's all it is. All of this, and the big twist would have been Doctor Doom, well, not Doctor Doom, Kang. One of the Kane that worked with the TSA would have betrayed everybody, and that's where you get the whole scene. Did you do this? Did you do this? Betraying everybody's trust and everything else. They just rewrote the script around Doom. That's all it is. It's literally, that's why you got so many different multiverses and characters and all this. It was always supposed to lead to the Kane Dynasty, so instead of using Kane, they're just going to use Doctor Doom. I don't know why it took me so long to piece this together, but seeing those two, like those two costumes, it just clicked, and it was like, this is supposed to be for Kang. This is just a leftover Kang Dynasty plot reworked for Doctor Doom. That's it, and it explains everything. It explains why the X-Men are here, everything else, because every universe has a what? A Kang the Conqueror. Just like how in this case they're gonna try to pull out every universe. Gonna have one version or iteration of Doom or Sorcerer. So anybody who's messed with the Darkhold or the Sorcerer Supreme is gonna find themselves having some connections back to Doctor Doom. That's how it is. Just replace anything with Kang with Doctor Doom and it all makes sense. Now I still want the Kang Dynasty to be a future plot. To me it makes sense. Will they hire Jonathan Majors? I think they should. But it's just, if the man scrapes some change together, he'll take anything but that recent movie, boy. That looks rough. Like, you could have reworked the script. You could have just make your own Black Rambo movie, something like that. It is what it is. But yeah, this is not supposed to be a long video. It's probably past 5 minutes already. Yes, this is a Kang Dynasty plot. Everything in this movie points back to Kang. The reason why he's so easily and effortlessly able to stop Stormbreaker. What if he's not stopping it out of pure power? What if he's stopping it with time? And he just slowed the momentum to a stop, which is why he took no blowback from the damage. Now, they're going to rewrite it for Doom's magic to negate it, but if he was Kang the Conqueror, would it also not make sense? Would it also not fit if it was Kang and the Council and Kang members finally being unleashed, taking over the world? Which is why we had... What do you think the Laverian Witches and Boars going to do? They're going to go to the X-Men universe, they're going to go to the Fantastic Four universe to what? To weaken it for Doom, aka to weaken it for Kang. And what was Kang Dynasty supposed to be? A 2 to 3 part movie. What is Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars that could potentially turn into a 2 to 3 part movie? You see what I'm getting at? You see how the dots connect? Like, but I'm telling you, the tinfoil hat is not even on. I guess my neuroreceptors are just going overdrive. Yes, this is a Kang Dynasty plot. All of it. But Feige and Russo's had, but they those guys, I thought they just pulled out any old new script. Nah, they didn't scrap anything. They just reworked it around Doom and filmed the movie Spiggly Black and just wrapped it up like that. And they're just going to pull out Secret Wars as a last minute change with no setup, because everything else is leading towards Kang, and they can't do that with Kang, so they had to do a hard pivot, rewrite everything around Doom, have Doom somehow get the jump on the Kangs and trap them and take their power, or whatever he's going to do, and everything else makes sense. Why would there be an army of Sentinels? What if one of the Kangs went to the future and went to that bad Days of Future Past timeline, since Kang is a time traveler, right? Went to that bad Days of Future Past timeline, just a soft reboot the Sentinels and bring the Sentinels to current day. Why not? They can fight some X-Men. They can fight some Avengers. And this would also ties back into what did Kang the Conqueror say in Quantumanium? I have killed the Avengers multiple times. Is it a conspiracy or is it fact until the government tells you it's true? It's been WWK. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Am I good or am I good? I'm not a person with a big ego, but when that thing click, I was like, spiggly splat, we don't got him. We got him. We got him. Red dot him. MSWK. Peace. This